Let us discuss time visibility and why decisions without time data are guesses. Let me start with a short context. Over the years, I've been responsible for organizations where decisions about pricing, scope, staffing, and priorities were made every day. What I've learned is simple. Leaders make time-based decisions constantly. Most of them just do it without time data. We decide whether a project can absorb extra work, whether a scope change is minor, whether a delay is acceptable, whether a team is under pressure or simply busy. All of these are decisions about time. Yet in many organizations, time is the least reliable input. After delivery, most firms can explain what happened. The project took longer than expected. Certain tasks consumed more effort. Margins were lower than planned. That insight is useful, but it comes too late to change the outcome. If you only understand time after the fact, you are not managing, you are explaining. This becomes critical once time is connected to allocation and economics. If you don't know how time is actually spent, you don't know whether allocation assumptions still hold. And if allocation does not hold, utilization does not hold either. At that point, project economics stop being signals. They become hopes. Many leaders believe they can sense this. They rely on experience. They trust judgment. They assume deviations will be manageable. Sometimes they are right, but experience does not scale, and judgment weakens as complexity increases. More projects, more people, more parallel decisions. That is where blind spots emerge. This needs to be said clearly. This is not a people issue. Most professionals act responsibly and work hard. The problem is not effort. The problem is that leadership decisions are made without factual time signals. And without those signals, every discussion about capacity, pricing, or margin rests on assumptions. This is where resistance often appears, because the moment time becomes visible, it can feel like control. That reaction misses the point. Time visibility is not about monitoring individuals. It is about giving leadership a factual basis for decisions. Good leaders don't use time data to question effort. They use it to question assumptions. This is where time registration enters the picture, not as an end in itself, not as an administrative exercise, but as the most basic input to understanding. Whether allocation still holds, whether utilization matches expectations, and whether project economics are drifting while decisions are still reversible. Without time data, leaders still decide. They just do it without visibility. No organization gets this perfectly right. That is not the standard. The standard is whether leaders choose to replace assumptions with signals where it matters. Earlier, quietly, before consequences become structural. Ignoring time visibility is also a decision. It is a decision to accept that allocation, utilization, and project economics will only be understood in hindsight. Serious firms do not track time because they enjoy it. They do it because running a business on guesses is more expensive. Time visibility does not solve every problem, but it changes the quality of the decisions you make. And over time, decision quality is what separates firms that react from firms that remain in control. If you would like to learn more, we regularly host webinars and also arrange one-to-one conversations. Feel free to reach out to me anytime via WhatsApp at +639 175 042 507. Looking forward to hearing from you.